Sing Goddess, The Wrath of the Fonz, Smoke Pit Fairy Tales Part 2, Chapter 17, Blood-Soaked Rain. Things went from bad to the part of hell where demons in clown costumes cut your dick in half long ways and gang fuck you with razor blades. The sun had only been up for an hour. Tears swelled from the windows of McMillian's soul. What was left of his squad was hunkered down in half-dug fighting holes.
This is bad.
No shit, it's bad.
Bama replied.
Ivan's a fucking fire, and he's burning us alive.
Lieutenant Wilkinson tried to comfort his men.
You just have to keep faith, Marines.
Sir, I can smell the ocean. We're 4 blocks away from the fucking thing. The 1st Marine Division is about to get pushed back into the fucking sea.
No, we're not, McMillian.
Dude, I said with no regard to customs and courtesies. The only reason the division ain't getting pushed into the ocean is because half of the fucking Blue Diamond is laying face down in the street. There ain't enough of us to push any further. There are fucking battalions that have been wiped out since last night. I'm pretty sure you're the only platoon commander in 2-7 right now.
Yeah, the company gunny was split in half. But that doesn't matter, because there aren't enough Marines left in Fox to need a gunnery sergeant.
The lieutenant sulked and quit his rhetoric. The Marines' eyes were all bloodshot cue balls staring down death. There were a few days' worth of beard on every face, and all skin was black from dirt, gunpowder, and smoke. We were wedged into a position where going further back was just as much out of the question as moving forward. We hunkered down in craters left over from artillery shells. Ivan decided it was worth destroying the city to evict us. There was barely a story to the building in front of us. The Russians leveled everything, and they did it all in a night. Over the rubble, blood, and carnage, Ilium's walls stood in defiance. Daedalus's F-18s and A-10s ripped chunks of earth into the sky. Russian mechs sent trails of fire after the birds. Some erupted into balls of fire and left black trails of death as they fell from the sky. MiGs and Hornets chased after each other. I'm gonna pull that place apart brick by fucking brick.
Dude, we're not getting 2 feet closer to that place ever again.
Eclair said. Yeah, we will. Boyce complained. But we're captured and put in the fucking place's gulag.
Boys, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna let Allensworth chop you into little pieces and throw you in the ocean.
Eclair lit a cigarette.
Well, since we're all about to die anyway, I have something I want to get off my chest.
What? Did you frag Staff Sergeant Runyon? Because I'd be okay with that.
No.
Eclair said as calmly as someone who thought they were about to die could.
A couple years ago, I killed my wife's best friend, then chopped her up and threw her onto an impact range.
The crater stared at me. What? Boyce asked in disbelief. True story, man. I backed Eclair up. I helped chop her up.
That's fucked up. You didn't do it at the barracks, did you?
Eclair and I looked at McMillian, stone-faced.
Yep. Remember those Motor T guys in the news a few years ago that the media thought gang raped that chick and murdered her?
No.
I do. I was at SOI.
It was us, and we let them take the fall.
Huh. Well, I guess that doesn't matter anymore, because at the rate Ivan's going, we're all gonna be dead in about half an hour.
But it feels good to get that off my chest.
I patted Eclair's shoulder. Another barrage of mortars huddled us into the bottom of the hole. My hand gripped my rifle and I shook. My heart was punching my ribcage. Tears of fear and hate filled the Marines' eyes. The dirt shook beneath us, and the metal and stones that were blown out of the ground buried us in the gravel. The artillery stopped and there was a great cry. Another human wave came to push us back into the sea. We emptied our weapons until the wave broke over the Marine-filled craters. Bama grabbed a soldier and drove his dagger behind the Russian's ear. Another soldier jumped into the hole with his bayonet aimed at Bama's heart. As he came screaming through the air, Bama dodged him, but the blade fell into Boyce's chest above the flak, and they hit the ground with a thud. McMillian lunged at the soldier, but could only cut his sleeve. The soldier hit McMillian's Kevlar with his buttstock. I drew my pistol and turned the soldier's head into lasagna. You all right, Mick? McMillian knelt up. He looked down at Boyce.
God damn it.
McMillian grabbed Ivan's weapon and emptied his magazine into the soldiers around us. Across the line by the ocean, the 1st Marine Division fought the Russian army like starved lions over meat. We held a room in Ivan's house, and Ivan wanted it back. Most of the guns were silent. The Americans and Russians were almost too close for knives. Doc Little and my doc took advantage of the leadless air to grab the wounded and carry them on their shoulders to a safer spot. Another group of soldiers jumped into our hole. One of them stabbed at McMillian with a bayonet, but McMillian grabbed the rifle and pulled it away. He took the Russian's rifle, stuck it in his stomach, and pulled the trigger. The Russian screamed and his bowels fell out of his body onto the dirt. McMillian hammered his face into a cave. Another one of the soldiers fired into the crater. Eclair took a bullet through the arm, and the rest of the burst went into Bama. Eclair grabbed the soldier by the foot and pulled him into the crater. He took his K-bar and drove it halfway into the soldier's windpipe, then grabbed his arms and hacked off his hands. The soldier tried to scream through the blood running down his throat, clawing at his neck with the stumps that used to hold fingers. We let him suffer. McMillian looked back at Bama's lifeless body and started to cry. His tears didn't dull his ability to fight. Doc was running back to the fight after pulling more wounded Marines out. He was covered in other people's blood. His body was black from gunpowder and covered in dirt. A bullet struck him in the front plate of his flak where the strap for his weapon was, and he fumbled to the ground. The rifle fell off his body. Doc grabbed his weapon and rolled into a ditch. He pulled out a grenade and launched it towards Ivan.
Frag out!
The grenade hit a soldier in the head and sent him spinning like a top. The grenade rolled into a crater. 5 or 6 Russians jumped out, and the grenade blew the dirt out of the hole. The Russians that jumped out grabbed the man that was hit in the head and dragged him to the safety of the crater. Doc jumped into our hole, panting wide-eyed. You okay, bro?
It's like a day at the beach.
If the beach was fucking Peleliu.
Nah, dude. Oakland.
Doc Little came running towards us.
God damn, dude. Your little buddy can fucking sprint.
Doc peeked over the edge of the crater.
Yeah. Fast little fucker.
Doc Little was booking it. A soldier tried to tackle him, but Doc Little dodged it and shot the soldier in the shoulder. He kept running and dove into the crater. McMillian laid Boyce and Bama face up in the crater. The rest of us started taking ammo from the Russians.
All stations, Fox 6. If you have grenades still, throw them to the next crater up.
Lieutenant Toshi's voice buzzed through the radios.
After they blow, assault the position. Signal will be red flare. Break. This is the moment, gentlemen. Pray to your deities. At the very least, they won't be able to say the 1st Marine Division didn't die standing. Fox 6 out.
McMillian produced a grenade. He pulled off one of the dead Russians in our fighting position. We made sure we all had a full magazine in our rifles. I strangled my AK's pistol grip and shook. I was sure the other Marines thought death was near. I thought about getting shot in the leg, then stabbed to death, then waking up in a mass grave under 100 other rotting Marine corpses. And shuddered. The red flare burst in the sky. McMillian threw the grenade and it rolled into the next Russian-filled crater with a pop. Before the dust settled, McMillian, Eclair, my Doc, Doc Little, and I were jumping into the hole. It was a bowl of body parts with blood-stained walls.
One step at a time, Fox.
Toshi's voice filled the crater via radio. By dusk, we had butchered our way back to the river. Most of the Russians were killed with our bare hands. If their corpses had weapons, ammo, food, or smokes, we took them and moved forward, inch by bloody inch. We pushed Ivan to the river. The lucky ones made it over the bridge. Many of them tried to ford the river only to get stuck in the mess of sea wire under the waves. During the day, the spiked death traps running bank to bank could be seen clearly under the blue, but it was dark, and the barbed wire was invisible. The Russians that got tangled in the mess screamed when the prongs dug into their legs. Streams of blood flowed down the river when we killed them mercilessly with their own weapons. The Russians on the other side used the river to their advantage and hailed fire over the choke point bridge. They used the natural barrier to halt our advance. The dark sky glowed with lightning. Thunder opened the doors to the rain. The artillery, machine guns, and bombs had turned all the buildings anywhere near the river into splinters and pebbles. Either lightning or bombs had set what little of the buildings were left into fire in the pouring rain. There was still about a platoon's worth of Russians on our side of the water by the bridge. Lieutenant Toshi led the charge, firing at the Russians, shooting at least one above the waist. We flew at them like wasps from a rattled nest. McMillian screamed and fired his rifle. He shot one Russian in the shoulder and bayoneted another in the neck, driving him to the ground. McMillian shot another soldier in the thigh and buried his bayonet in his belly. The yard that still had benches and splintered tree stubs was filled with smoke. My eyes stung and my lungs grew tight as I breathed in the burning mess. I pulled the trigger, charging the Russians. The bolt locked back over an empty magazine. I threw the gun to the ground and pulled out my tomahawk. A soldier thrust his weapon at me. I grabbed his hand and drove my axe into his shoulder. His bones cracked and his sinew tore. I yanked his hand and his arm fell free of his body. Doc tackled another soldier and hacked away at his throat. His tomahawk was hot with red fluid from the Russian's neck. He grabbed another soldier and swung the axe so the blade went into the soldier's mouth. It stopped with a squish. The soldier's eyes turned red. His body convulsed and his mouth, ears, eyes, and nose let loose streams of crimson. McMillian called,
Kill!
every time he pulled the trigger. Bang!
Kill!
Bang!
Kill!
Bang!
Kill!
McMillian ran out of ammo and chased after Ivan. Somehow, he made it to the riverbed. He stabbed a soldier in the mouth. His teeth flew to the dirt. McMillian swung again, slitting the soldier's throat. He picked up a cinder block and smashed it on another soldier's head. Blood and chunks of bones sprayed down his neck. With the Russians still on our side of the bridge, their artillery rained back down on us. Explosions rocked the earth. Russian soldiers and Marines, locked in each other's arms in a battle for death, rolled down and continued their battles in the craters. I tackled Eclair into a rut and we huddled down for cover. There was an equal amount of steel, rubble, and bits of body parts flying through the air. Blood rained down from the heavens under the lightning and storm. The artillery stopped, but the bloodshed continued. McMillian picked up an AK with a bayonet and threw it at a soldier. The blade stuck the soldier's heart and he fell. McMillian put his foot on the Russian and jerked out the weapon. A soldier charged McMillian from behind and drove his shoulder into McMillian's back. McMillian's helmet flew off and he rolled in the dirt. McMillian turned around and shot the soldier. A burst of blood from a bullet shot from McMillian's back and he stumbled forward. McMillian snapped out of his bloodlust and looked at Eclair and me in the trench in the ground. He started running towards us. A couple of Russians chased after him. Eclair and I shot at the men chasing down our friend. One of the soldiers fell in the dirt. Another one tackled McMillian and drove his knife into his gut. Eclair and I fired madly at the Russian. He rolled into a nearby crater. Lieutenant Toshi appeared out of the smoke and rain, which was half blood, and straddled himself over McMillian's body. He was screaming and shooting at everything that had a shadow.
Doc!
Toshi slung his rifle and drew his pistol.
Doc! Doc, get your ass over here!
Doc ran up to the lieutenant and the two of them dragged McMillian's body to cover. The bullets tore through the rain around them.
You think Ivan got him?
Even if McMillian's alive, with a wound like that, he'll be dead soon. Doc can't fix that. I tried not to cry. He's gonna have to get evacuated to the ship, and that's a 3-hour wait at least. Eclair's eyes started to water. He growled and fired at the Russians at the bridge. I had a lump in my throat for McMillian. I joined Eclair in giving Ivan one-way tickets to hell. The artillery fell again. I grabbed Eclair and pulled him back into our rut. Many good men died on those days. There wasn't an instant of peace. Over the hours, the fire smoldered and the rain stopped falling. The Russians had their side of the river, and we had ours. The storm let up throughout the night. Doc, Eclair, and I huddled over a fallen wall. The wind was blowing the rain over us. We were wet, but water wasn't dropping directly on top of us. McMillian's body laid beside us, covered in a poncho.
I haven't slept in 3 days.
None of us have. But I've still slept more recently than I've eaten.
I'd eat 3 veggie omelet MREs in a row right now.
When was the last time anyone talked to the wives?
A couple of weeks.
I got a letter a while back, but it was from 2 months ago. The mail here is shit. I flicked my butt and lit another cigarette. I was careful with my fingers not to get the paper wet. Fuck, I'm pretty sure I have a kid right now, but there's no way to know it. I thought about Penelope in a hospital gown, holding a light green baby and being torn between if she should be happy or sad. This whole situation's fucked.
It could be worse.
How?
We could be in Ohio.
Doc and I gave him a smirk. Fonzie came sprinting around the corner. He didn't have a flak or Kevlar, just his rifle. His eyes were wide and startled. I'd never seen the Fonz in distress before, no matter what shit we've been thrown into. He looked at us, then at the body under the poncho on the ground.
Is that?
Yeah.
Hot, salty beads of water streamed from Fonzie's eyes. He knelt down beside McMillian and pulled back the sheet covering his face. Fonz started sobbing. He punched McMillian's chest and wailed. I stared at the Fonzie with pity and fear. I'd been convinced that the Fonz was made of iron and hate. I've seen him bleed before, but only literally.
I'm so fucking stupid. If I'd have swallowed my pride and taken a squad, you'd still be alive.
Fonzie told the dead man on the ground. Whoa, dude, that's not your fault. Doc, Eclair, and I put our hands on his back. Fonzie ignored us and kept talking to McMillian.
You died before we got home. What am I gonna tell him? I swear to God in heaven, I'll slit every fucking throat in Russia.
Fonzie stroked McMillian's face and cried. He opened McMillian's breast pocket, probably looking for his kill cards, but instead pulled out a sheet of paper.
What's that?
I don't know.
What's it say? Fonzie read the paper.
A war fought for nothing. We're afraid and alone. For a woman, not even from our home. Rip the souls from our hearts. Bathe in the blood of body parts. Our best years spent in a foreign hell. Sulfur, the only thing we smell. Do your drugs and have your party. You're safe from the wrath of artillery. Get out of Russia, you say on TV. You have your protest, but care not for we. Your war is subjection I don't understand. You don't care for the men fighting for this land. Draw cartoons of the Red Star, make fun. You're a coward who refuses to wield a gun. When you die, I hope you come here. You'll witness my life, the one you fear. Besides my brothers, the only ones I love great, in my veins there is only hate. No cares you give for the fires of war I'm in. You just think talking shit makes you cool and fit in. But I'm the one in a sea of blood, who fights the Ivan in the mud. We're the ones who in war cries, but you don't give a fuck when a Marine dies.
Fonzie folded up the paper and put his hand in his pocket. His hand came back with 2 coins. He put them on McMillan's eyes and rubbed his face.
Goodbye, cousin.
He put the poncho back over McMillan.
Make sure that he gets where he needs to.
Fonzie started walking away.
Where are you going, man?
I'm going to get my job back.
Hey, fools, what's up? I don't know why I said that. Anyway, hey, I'm sorry for being a Debbie Downer last week. Just, I got a million things going on in my head right now. Or been having a million things going on in my head right now. But thanks for listening to another episode of Sing Got Us the Wrath of the Fonz. We're starting to gear up towards the meat of the book. Not that the book hasn't been meaty, but, you know, like the final arc. We're heading into the final arc, if you couldn't tell with how this chapter ended. It's going to be a good ride. Anyway, some other things that have been going on. The War Chest Mark II is out. That's cool, right? You know, this is a 1,000,000-word novel series. Actually, it's 1,011 words. This thing's the war crate. It's got both war chests in it. Look at it. Ain't it beautiful? I also started doing a new thing to where, like, every war chest that goes out, I put a pin on this map I made for it. So we can see where all of them done went to. California's winning at the moment, followed by North Carolina, and then Texas. And we got a few more to ship out. So that'll start being a segment here soon. You know, putting the pin in the map. Anyway, thank you to everybody who's gotten a war chest, and thank you to my Patreon followers. There's some new ones of you here. Any Hoosier. I've started to work on the 3rd audiobook. The first chapter's up on Patreon. The second chapter is almost done. I gotta have one of my voice actors redo a line or two just because they don't fit with the tone, I guess. And I've got the 3rd chapter edited. No, I don't have it edited. I got the 3rd chapter recorded. I still gotta edit that. But they both should be on Patreon soon. And if you're not spooled up on it, sprunked on it, I put the chapters on Patreon as soon as they're done as to where these are scheduled. And I think the 3rd book is going to start being aired over here on YouTube in April. Because book 2 is going to run through like the 1st or 2nd week of March, and then I'm going to use the rest of the month to, you know, talk to my voice actors, you know, kind of do what we did like last time, give me a little buffer space, breathing room between books, and then we'll be rolling into the 3. All right, well, anyway, thank you everybody for hanging out. It means a lot that you're, you know, listening to this and all. You guys rock. All right, here are your bloopers, and we'll do this again next week. All right, you have a good one. Ciao.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your narrator speaking. It is 2300 hours, 2 days until Christmas. We are going into chapter 17 because I am hell-bent for high water and getting this audiobook done by the end of this year, the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2023. All right, let's get into the chapter.
Chapter 17.
Intro music here.
All stations, Fox 6. If you have grenades still, throw them to the... Oh, okay.
Alright, what are we doing? Sound check. I just did legs yesterday. Standing in this hot-ass closet kinda sucks. What are we doing? Fonzie, get in character. That's a little too much Scarface. Alright. Sergeant Fonzie Palacios, chapter 17. Got 3 more chapters to go, and then I'm done.
I'm a few beers deep right now. There's a whiskey called Writer's Tears. It's good. You should drink it. I like it. I need to move the pop filter, even though the pop filter doesn't fucking... Look, I am a foot away from the microphone. Oh. Yeah, see it? Whatever. Fuck off. All right, let's go.
None of us have. Yeah.
Tears swelled from the windows of McMillan. He's not McMillan. He is McMillan.
No. A couple years ago, I killed my wife's best friend, then chopped her up and threw her into an impact range. I can't say impact. Impact. Sorry.
Fucking name. Fuck you, Trip. I like this character.
I swear to fucking God, phone, no one cares!
Is that... I can't take this part seriously. The Q says crying, shouting, passionate Salvadoran. I've seen this on Pornhub before. God damn it. All right, get in character.
Across the line by the ocean, the 1st Marine Division fought the Russian off... Okay, no, I said that right the first time. Why did I stop?
No. A couple years ago, I killed my wife's best friend, then chopped her up and threw her into an... God, dude, fuck.
God, that's fucking brutal. They fucking slit the dude's throat and cut his hands off and just let him... Fuck. Oh, man, glad I'm not in that war. All right.
You died before we could get home. That's not the line. God damn it.
Little Doc was booking it. A soldier tried to tackle him, but Little Doc dodged it and shot the soldier in the shoulder. Soldier in the shoulder. Fuck, this is going to be a good one. Fucking tongue twisters, bitch. Let's see how many bonus round we get on this motherfucker.
You died before we got home. What am I going to tell him? I swear to God in heaven, I'll shit every... Yeah, I'll shit in every fucking throat. 'Cause shit in all the throats all across Russia. Just poop down the gullets. Oh, God. With 2 girls in a cup.
Oh, well, cool. Got it. Sweet. McMillian laid Boyce and Bama face up in the crater. The rest of us started stacking.
You died before we got home. What am I going to tell him? I swear to God in heaven, I'll sweat. Why is this so hard?
The Russians on the other side used the river to their advantage and hailed, not halted. So that's supposed to be bang, kill, bang, kill, bang, kill. Russian soldiers and Marines locked in each other's arms in battle for death, rolled down, in battle for death. Oh, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, and I said that right. McMillian put his foot on the Russian and jerked out the weapon. A soldier charged McMillian from behind and drove into his shoulder. A soldier charged McMillian from behind and drove his shoulder into... Shoulder is a word, Trip. Use it. Pew, pew, pew. I need a little beer. Let's wet the whistle. Many good died. Oh, now I can't talk. Great. Well, that's good because sort of the chapter fucking switches gears. What the fuck? Oh, I said that wrong. We're fought for nothing. We're afraid and alone for a woman, not even from our home. Shit, that is fucking Trump's wife. God damn it. I wrote this in 2014, guys. I fucking promise. Wait, no, 15. It would have been January 2015 when I wrote this. Fuck. For a woman, not fucking whatever Trump's wife. Fucking her. She wasn't from here either. God damn it. And she was stupid fucking hot. Oh, all right, whatever. Okay. And this book takes place in the same year Ukraine invaded fucking... All right, I got to get back to this. All right, I got beer to drink. We're fought for nothing. We're afraid and alone for a woman, not even from her home or the souls out from a dead bathe. I'm going to get my job back. I'm going to get my job back. I'm going to get my job back. Yeah, I'm going to get my job back. It'd be good.